This is a story taken from the famous Mexican radio program La Mano Peluda, or The Hairy Hand in English. I'm an engineer from Arabic origin. 15 years ago, I met a woman from the School of Medicine from the UNAM with whom I eventually married. Her name was Jacqueline. Our marriage was normal, like a lot of Mexican marriages, and we decided to build a house in Tepoztlan on a land her father gave us for our wedding. He has since passed away. We built a pretty house, of Asian and Mexican style. We decorated the house as the house was built. We threw a party to celebrate the construction of the house. After that party, our nightmare started. We drank and ate a lot during the party, and later that night, after all the people had left, we heard strange noises. This worried my wife because she's very Catholic and religious. She prayed a lot for those noises to go away. One day, I went to work while my wife stayed home. I worked far from the town we lived in. My wife told me she found one pair of big, miner-like boots next to the door that led to the basement of the house. When I came home, my wife was very mad because of the boots she had found. I told her they were not mine. Maybe they were from my employee named Solomon, and maybe he left them by mistake. My wife took the boots and threw them away out of anger. Little did we know that they belonged to no one. We kept hearing the noises, and my wife kept praying for them to go away. One day, we came back from my brother's son's baptism. I was having a headache and experiencing back pain. I couldn't celebrate the occasion because I wasn't feeling well. I was sober, but my wife was a little drunk. So we just went to bed. There's a wooden staircase in my house that creaks when you go up. We were asleep when all of a sudden we heard the stairs creaking. I got really nervous. Days before, I had bought a gun from a corrupt cop. The gun was stolen, but I had kept it for security reasons. When the noises stopped, I heard a thick, loud noise come from the door. Something was knocking on the door, but almost like they were about to rip it off its hinges. It sounded like the person who was behind the door had a lot of strength. My wife woke up abruptly. I took the gun, and she pulled me to her so I wouldn't open the door. I got out of her grip anyway and went to open the door and then saw something. I clearly saw a person going downstairs running, and I shot at them. After the third gunshot, I saw the person fall down the stairs. I began yelling to my wife to call the police. I turned on the light for the stairs, but I didn't see the person. There was no one, except the boots my wife had thrown away a couple of days ago. But this time, they had blood on them. My wife and I got really nervous. She called a priest, and everything calmed down for a period of time. After a while, my wife got pregnant, but she kept feeling really nervous about all that happened, and we asked for an uncle of hers to come live at our house. This uncle was unemployed due to an accident at work and didn't work or do anything with his day. She wanted company while she was expecting since she spent her days alone, as I worked very far away. Her uncle came to live with us, and everything was normal for a month or two. One day, after I came back from work, Solomon, my coworker, came with me to the house. All the lights were turned off except the one from the living room. I found my wife's uncle in a chair, dead. I started frantically looking for my wife. She was in the dining room, squatting in fear and crying nonstop. She was sitting down on a big stain of blood. I thought she was hurt. I called the police, and they took my wife away in an ambulance. She had lost the baby, and according to the doctors, her uncle died due to a heart attack. My wife spent 3 weeks in intensive care before she started to get better. She's never been the same since that incident. I've taken her to a psychiatrist and a hypnotist. She's always very calm. However, every time I would take her to the hypnotist, she would become very hysterical and start telling me to take care of myself, that something was going to hurt me. But I never knew what or how. I feel very lucky that I was with my friend that day. If I hadn't been, the Mexican police would have accused me of hurting my wife and killing her uncle and would have sent me to jail. My wife is now in a mental hospital in Guadalajara. I go see her every month, but she doesn't recognize me at all. She just thinks I'm a friend of hers. I haven't been able to sell the house. I've never gone back to that house. I've tried to sell it with the help of others. I managed to rent the house. The person that rented from me only stayed 1 month and decided to leave because they felt uncomfortable. They told me they never heard or saw anything in the house, but felt a very chilling presence permeate through any room they went to. However, on the day that everything happened, after dealing with the police and the doctors, the first thing I saw were those goddamn boots. They were next to the door leading to the basement, as if my wife never threw them away. So, what do you think about this story? Is it just BS, or have you had something similar happen to you? Please let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Also, if you have a story or experience you would wish to share with us here at the channel, feel free to send us an email at dragonvin@gmail.com. See you later.